So obviously there was that story yesterday about we need a pandemic amnesty, and a lot of people were very unhappy about that article, and they said, no, we need tribunals, a lot of people said, right? Okay. Now, I found this thread from Jesse Kelly, and he asked, if you suffered hardship during Corona because of lockdown, social distancing, and mandates, reply below with your story. And he got a lot of great replies. Let's just take a quick look. So remember, all the things that we talked about yesterday, I shouldn't say all the things, but most of the things that we talked about, are principles and talking about from a very helicopter sort of view over the entire situation. Some of it was hindsight as well. But let's talk about the personal stories. Now, I want to make this clear. I haven't read these stories. It's up on your screen, but I haven't read them. So let's take a look at a few of them. My kid and all his fellow students were traumatized. Imagine being a kid and one day everything is locked down and you're forced to wear a mask because the plague was here. Yeah. Also teaches the children to believe existing is better than living, not to risk stratify, not to question. Compliance is better than curiosity. Yeah. My father-in-law died in the hospital alone, not surrounded by his family and friends. We told him goodbye over FaceTime. That just really irks me. I cannot imagine talking to a loved one in their final moments over FaceTime. And not because of some real circumstance that makes it that's the only way to connect with them, because of some fake overblown thingy. That would be unbelievably, that would make me unbelievably furious. Now, I didn't have anything like that occur, but I would be livid. I would be absolutely just incensed if that were to occur. So if you didn't have that happen to you, I'm happy to hear. But for those of you that did, I mean, I can't even fathom what's going through your mind or what went through your mind at that time. Can you imagine saying bye to a loved one through FaceTime because of something with a 99.99999% survival rate? By the way, while government workers are dancing around and putting up TikTok cringe videos and right? We lost our mother-in-law by the killer protocol remdesivir. We will never forget or forgive what they did. Remember? Oh, hey, there's too much liquid. Let's give him remdesivir. Oh, they died. Oh well. My daughter missed an opportunity to go to Poland and compete internationally in her sport. The following year, the competition was held in the States, and she got first. She's now graduating from homeschooled high school. Look at this ratio. That's your tragedy. People die for please check yourself. So this person is a piece of crap. I want to make this clear. Whoever you are, Cindy Sin 20,000, you are a bad person. You're a piece of crap. Okay? You probably are on the mouse booster. Look, you're a horrible person. Honestly, just complete filth. Grandma died alone in nursing home, not from corona. Fear is losing job for nearly a year, still somewhat ongoing. Degrading behavior from peers, relatives, and businesses. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was unable to be with my dad when he died. I will never get over what he had over him having to die alone. That's... The same thing happened with my little sister. She died in the hospital from advanced stage 4 cancer and not allowed visitors either. You think about that. They're dying. They want to be with their family, and they're like, nope, sorry, you gotta die alone. Who benefited from that, though? Did it reduce the virus transmission? Remember, I know a lot of people say the virus is fake or whatever, but that's not the point. The point is I mean, that is one point. But a second point would be, even the mainstream narrative says it didn't help. It didn't help at all. In fact, it might have made things worse. So the experts were wrong again, huh? How convenient. I was lucky I refused to lock myself down, wear a mask, get the shot, or generally give an irrational fear. I was impacted by the friends and family who did fall prey and could not handle my freedom and peace of mind. Yeah, a lot of people, I remember a lot of people were wondering why I was so free. Like, they were just like, oh, how come you're not affected? It's like, well, stop being such a wuss. The reason why I had so much confidence is because if you looked at the data, oh, that takes 17 seconds. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather just wear 18 diapers and take all these mysterious injections to stay locked down and right. So it's a trade-off. I looked at the data, which was very available in the summer of 2020. I mean, I could understand, March or April 2020, and you're getting bombarded with all this fake news and negative news, and if you're not going to dig into the stuff, but at some point, where's the responsibility going to kick in? So by the summer 2020, it was very clear, 99.9% survival rate and all this other stuff, and still people were like, oh my gosh, right? I was unemployed for a better part of a year, lost my house, my truck, my credit's now completely shot. I'm still digging out of the hole. Oh, I got corona, was kind of sick for a week. Lost the only job that I ever loved doing. Look at it. Read this one. My daughter cried herself to sleep many nights in the spring of 2020 because she missed her teachers and friends. They closed the schools to protect grandma, except my husband and I both work full time, so the kids had to be sent to grandma. Yeah. Got to stand outside my father's hospital room on the lawn and watch him pass away alone. They wouldn't let me see my son while he was alive and he was all alone, but when he was about to die, then I could go and sit and watch as they tried to resuscitate him, and then he was gone. I had to have a funeral for my dad with no one able to attend except 10 people. He didn't deserve that. Forced to mask at work as a shot-free employee, wondering every day about job status. Forced to quarantine at home due to another RNA-altered employee testing positive. My 38-year-old sister was forced by her job to get the shot. She died of a blood clot about 8 hours after receiving her second shot. Oh my gosh. You want a pandemic amnesty? You want a pandemic amnesty after this? Good luck with that. Good luck. If you are not absolutely enraged by these stories, I don't think you're a human. And if there's any justice in this world, which is severely lacking, I think we can all agree, but if there's any justice in the world, anybody who's seeking pandemic amnesty for pulling off those stunts, no. You deserve far worse, and it's coming. It's coming. Look, I was not anti-vax. That's why I took the jabs. This is the wrong framing, but okay. I'm definitively not misinformation. I'm a human being who deserves to be properly recognized with the NHS and the government and treated accordingly. Shot, injured, and bereaved, and being treated as collateral damage, and it's unfair. Look, yeah, 12,000 likes. Remember, a lot of these tales are about others. Children, their parents, unable to see them, they're dying. How about the people that were forced into these injections? They were coerced into them. And some of them took them willingly, without informed consent, by the way, and they're injured. How about all those people, huh? And let's finish off with this video. This is just...
Hi. Yep. It's okay.
It's not okay. It's not okay.
Hey, I love you. I wish. She still got that ankle monitor on? Damn prison. I love you. I know, Mama. It's sickening. I love you. I wish I can change it all.
You know, I try not to have things get to me, but this one is a little bit rough. These psychopaths that force this on us, by the way, now they're saying, uncle, we were wrong. Mistakes were made. It's jail time. It's time for jail. And in some cases, much, much worse. How many people went through this? And now they want to say, oh, everything's fine. By the way, a lot of places are still enforcing boosters. There's still countries. Look at the U.S. You can't get into the U.S., right? You can't get into the U.S. unless you get RNA altered. You can't go to certain universities. You can't have certain jobs in the government. So they want to pretend like, everything's forgiven. No. Payback's coming. Now, some of that payback's going to come due to people getting just RNA altered and they're, having VAIDS or whatever, and their immune system's going to break down and they're going to have sudden heart attacks and just dying in their sleep randomly and suddenly. Some of that's going to occur. But a lot of the people that knew and plotted and did all these horrible things, they have to pay. They have to pay. Because it has to send a message throughout time that when there's great evil and injustice, that there must be restitution paid. And there's no two ways about that. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. See you all in the next video. Look at this. It says, fact check, getting the corona shot doesn't lower your immunity. CBS 17. Now, I have yet to watch it. We're going to watch it together first. Well, I'm going to watch it first. Maybe you've seen it already. So let's watch this. I might stop it along the way. I'm sure it's going to be a doozy.
We're 2 years into the COVID-19 pandemic, and there
False. No pandemic. Survival rate's too high. Continue.
is still misinformation making the rounds on social media.
Yes, it is. Yes, there's lots of misinformation. I wonder who's making it.
Yeah, tonight, CBS 17 digital reporter Jody McCrary is fact-checking claims that look like they were published by the federal government.
There's a paper written by a doctor that contains inaccurate information, but
Did they work for Pfizer and Moderna?
the bigger issue is where it showed up, on this website, pubmed.gov. It's run by the National Institutes of Health. The claim from Dr. Kenji Yamamoto has to do with the vaccines.
It's not a vaccine because it does not confer immunity, and it's a new technology. Man, CBS is really bad at their job. It's almost like it's intentional.
He says 8 months after a second dose, immunity is lower than it is for someone who's unvaccinated.
That is true based on the data. That is true. There's a lot of data that shows that. It's not only Dr. Kenji Yamamoto that says that. There are lots of studies that keep showing this continuously. Why are the numbers showing in many different places that those that get more shots have more corona and also die at a higher rate from other things other than corona? And yes, I know a lot of people say corona is not real, but once again, that's besides the point. Even based on the mainstream media and its data, it purports to show that.
And says as a safety measure, further booster vaccinations should be discontinued. UNC Dr. David Wall says that's just plain wrong.
That's more opinion than it is data and evidence.
Is the opinion correct? Where's the data? Where's the data that says this is true or this is false? Interesting, isn't it?
Evidence.
Wall says it misinterprets a study published in the Lancet Medical Journal. The point was to show how important boosters are. I reached out to Yamamoto, but he did not respond.
I wonder why he didn't respond. You know, this is one of the tricks that they do is, oh, he did not respond. That might be true, but the timing and context might also be important. Let's say it's 3:30 in the afternoon on a Friday, and you send a email, and your workday is over at like 3:35. Oh, he didn't respond in 5 minutes. I'll just write down that I sent a message and he didn't reply. That's technically true, but it's misleading, right? I'm not saying that's what happened here, but would it be beyond the pale?
It's a letter that was written to a journal that had a false interpretation, really clearly a misunderstanding of some of the data that had been shown previously and published in a peer-reviewed journal.
It raises a bigger question.
Wait a sec. So you get an alleged professional to refute it by saying it was just wrong. And then they say it was falsely interpreted. Once again, it's just saying the same thing, that it was wrong. Where's the data to show that it's wrong? You could literally put a guy up there with a clown nose and clown makeup on, probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference, and say, oh, it's wrong. And that's it. There's no data there. There's no statistics. There's no information that shows why it's wrong. They just, it's wrong. You see all those diplomas in the back? You have any idea how much, you know how much money I have to get from China to pay for that? Right? I mean, come on.
Why is misinformation showing up on this government website in the first place?
Government and misinformation in the same sentence? I'm shocked.
That website is sort of like an internet or a Google search engine for all publications.
So just because a paper is on PubMed, that doesn't mean it gets a stamp of approval from the National Institutes of Health.
It's just a nice resource for getting journal data, but it has nothing to do with the NIH.
Another claim from Yamamoto criticizes the media, saying we don't talk about people getting the vaccine and then developing blood clots or other issues. You can find out why that's wrong in my story online. For CBS 7.
Wait a sec. So they're saying, hey, Yamamoto also says that the fake news doesn't do a very good job about the adverse side effects. But you're going to have to go online to check out why he's wrong. Well, why don't you talk about it here? Remember, it's about focus. If somebody's watching the TV or just listening to it passively while it's running on in the background, are they going to go online? No. Okay, let me put it this way. What if they talked about the first claim about the shots causing blood clots or not causing blood clots, whatever it is? Why didn't they put that here? And then run this ad or whatever this is on the internet. Interesting, huh? I wonder how they came to that decision.
17 News, I'm Jody McCrary.
Now, the CDC is expected to relax some of its COVID-19 restrictions soon, just as kids start heading back to school.
So wait a sec. So their refutation of the claim that the corona shots are lowering your immunity is getting a guy saying it's wrong and it's misinterpreted and it's wrong. And that's it. Case closed. Oh, wow. You convinced me. Jeez. Now, I'm not a virologist. I'm not an epidemiologist. But what I can say is this. In the past 2.5 years, how accurate, or the predictions or the assessments from the fake news, how on the ball have they been? They've been worse than flipping a coin. So, once again, I don't know. But based on their previous utterances, I think it's fair to say it's more likely they're wrong once again here. And their alleged refutations is nothing. It's just a guy with glasses saying, it's wrong. I thought there'd be something more to this 2-minute piece, but, fake news is going to fake news. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I'll see you all in the next video. Let's take it from Myth-Informed MKE. And what you can see on your screen is Dr. Robert Malone, the guy who invented the technology for mRNA delivery. Not the shots necessarily, but the delivery system, my understanding is. And he was on Joe Rogan a few days ago, and before that, the day before, literally, he was banned off of Twitter, coincidentally, right? And this is what he had to say. This is almost 4 million views.
From basically European intellectual inquiry into what the heck happened in Germany in the 20s and 30s. Very intelligent, highly educated population, and they went barking mad. And how did that happen? The answer is mass formation psychosis. When you have a society that has become decoupled from each other and has free-floating anxiety and a sense that things don't make sense, we can't understand it, and then their attention gets focused by a leader or a series of events on one small point, just like hypnosis, they literally become hypnotized and can be led anywhere. And one of the aspects of that phenomena is the people that they identify as their leaders, the ones typically that come in and say, you have this pain and I can solve it for you. I and I alone, okay, can fix this problem for you. Okay, then they will follow that person through. It doesn't matter whether they lie to him or whatever. The data are irrelevant. And furthermore, anybody who questions that narrative is to be immediately attacked. They are the other. This is central to mass formation psychosis. And this is what has happened. We had all those conditions. If you remember back before 2019, everybody was complaining, the world doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. And we're all isolated from each other. We're all on our little tools. We're not connected socially anymore, except through social media. And then this thing happened and everybody focused on it. That is how mass formation psychosis happens. And that is what's happened here.
So an interesting thought. I'm not sure mass formation psychosis is going to catch on, but it's a bit verbose. Dr. Malone broke the algorithm. Now Google is struggling to manually edit the results. Mass formation psychosis. Looks like these results are changing quickly. Why? And then that was last night. This morning, it looks like the same thing. Now, I'm going to do it. Let's copy and paste. Make sure I do it absolutely correct. I haven't done this yet. I'm going to try and do this and see what comes up on Google. What is mass formation psychosis? I get Forbes. I get the SWF Institute. I get YouTube, Robert Malone. 5 days ago, how have we gone here? Anti-vaxxer told Rogan America's like mass psychogenic illness. So I don't know if this is, if this is what would show up for you. I'm not sure, or if this is getting throttled. Let's try DuckDuckGo. Mass Formation Psychosis by Dr. Robert Malone. Look, it's Forbes again. Real Clear Politics. Audible. What is it's SWF Institute again. Forbes. The Poster Mail. Zero Sum. Jeffrey Dock. Rights and Freedoms WordPress. Red State. Interesting. Okay, let's try Start Page. Emotional wellness. What is SWF Institute again? Clark County Day, Daily Dot, YouTube, Robert Malone on Joe Rogan. So it seems like right now, at least from my searches, things are okay. They seem to be accurate. I have no idea if they're the same. I can't, all right, you just saw it. I couldn't get this message. So you let me know in the comment section below. I'm really interested to see what kind of messages you're getting. You can let me know what country you're in as an example. Maybe that might affect what comes up. But the main point is that, well, two things. One, YouTube as an example, they've taken down the clips apparently. Some people say that they can watch them. Some people say they can't. So it seems to be like a global region block. Well, why would they be doing that, right? Why are they blocking some of the content in some areas, right? Why are they throttling? Apparently, doesn't seem like it's affecting me, maybe because they changed it or it's where I am. But apparently, they have changed the results for certain people, like for Jack Posobiec. But the last thing I want to talk about is the mass formation psychosis. This term, is it going to become extremely popular? Is this what's going to explain what has gone on for the past 22 months? I think that it's accurate, essentially. I don't know if the name's that great because, like I mentioned before, it's a little bit wordy. But we need something to describe what's going on. I think it's just NPCs, to be perfectly honest. I think that there's a large section of the population, a significant minority, that are simply NPCs. And they will just, whatever you program into them, they will do. And this kind of leads into another thing about free will and why free will seems to be mostly an illusion for a lot of people. And anyways, I can talk about that another time. But I don't care of the reason why things might return to some level of normality or normalcy, as long as we get there. If Dr. Malone can make up this phrase, mass formation psychosis, or whoever coined it before him, if it becomes popular enough and people start using it constantly, then maybe we can get out of this. Maybe. We have to understand that words have a lot of power. That's why spells, when people think about spells and magic and whatever, and we're not going to talk about whether or not magic actually exists. The point is that words actually do have power. When they call this injection, this mRNA gene therapeutic, a vaccine, people think it's a vaccine, when it's not. It doesn't even fit the original definition. That's why they had to change it a few months ago, as an example. Right? Words have a lot of power. I tend to try to use the words in the most literal sense possible to try to avoid ambiguity. But a lot of people are not sophisticated or honest enough to do that, and so what you get is this sort of stuff. Psychosis is a word that's going to be very hard to hijack. How are they going to hijack psychosis to make it mean something else? They can hijack the word vaccine. They can hijack the word anti-vaxxer. They can hijack the word mandate. They can hijack the word inflation. They can hijack a whole bunch of words. How are they going to hijack psychosis? That's going to be really challenging, to say the least. So we're going to see if this is effective. If you see this word, or these words, mass formation psychosis, in the next week or two, that's a pretty good indication it's going to carry on for a while longer. And maybe that's going to help break the spell of this mass hypnosis, as Dr. Malone calls it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, especially in regards to what kind of results you get. I like to use Start Page myself, but you can use other ones as well. I'll see you all in the next video.